Fire away.
All right. Thank you very much for meeting me, Mr. Bennett. I just have a few questions for you. How did you decide you wanted to pursue a career in law?
Well, I was working in business. I had an internship in business when I was in college, and my undergraduate degree was in business. And I took some business law classes, and I also got to interact with some lawyers in the company I did my internship with. And I realized I really enjoyed the legal stuff that we did, the legal classes I had, and also the legal work that the lawyers in the company did. And I found it really interesting. And from that, I decided that I would like to go to law school.
How did you choose which law school to go to?
That I chose for a couple reasons. I had a number of schools I had narrowed it down to. And one school I had a full ride scholarship to, but that was the school I had gone to college for my undergraduate degree. And then another school offered me a scholarship, and it was a half scholarship, and it was in Texas, and I'd never been to Texas before. And I decided that even though it would cost me more money than if I had chosen the place I had gotten a full ride scholarship to, that it was worth going someplace different that I had never been before, just for the new experience. So I decided to go to Baylor Law School because of the scholarship program that they had, and they gave me a half scholarship, and it was different than my undergraduate college.
Neat.
So it was really monetarily, and the fact that it was located someplace different.
And how did you get your first job in the legal field?
Well, typically what happens is after your first year of law school or your second year of law school, you get summer clerkships. And so you have the opportunity to work at different law firms, and they're usually about 6 weeks each. So you can fit in a couple during the summer. And so I clerked at a couple of different law firms in Dallas, and I got a job offer from one of those. And I liked the firm, I liked the people I had worked with and the atmosphere, and so I accepted the job offer. And I got the job offer before my final year of law school. So I was starting my last year of law school when they offered me the job. So it was kind of nice having the security of knowing I had a job lined up.
Mm-hmm. And now that you're an administrative law judge, what is the best part of having that job?
Well, being a judge is far better than being a lawyer. Because you get to make the decisions. When you're a lawyer, you have to persuade somebody else, and you have to do what the client tells you to do, or generally what the client suggests. But when you're a judge, you actually get to make all the decisions, and you don't have to do what clients want you to do. You decide what's right, and you do it. And so being an administrative law judge is a far better job than being a lawyer, in my opinion. It doesn't pay as much. I made more money as a lawyer, but I get a quality of life. I'm able to control my schedule. I don't have anybody looking over my shoulder, judging my work. I pretty much am autonomous, which also means that I can take off when I want to take off and do fun things with my kids, or travel, or just have time to do things I want to do. So I like that a lot better than being a lawyer.
So on the flip side, what is the most difficult part of your job?
One of the things, it's not necessarily difficult for me, but it's difficult for a lot of people, and that is every time I issue a decision, somebody's unhappy with it. And we have a process as an administrative law judge. We have, after we issue a decision, parties can file what are called exceptions. And it's basically where they complain about the decision and they ask you to reconsider it. And so every time I issue a decision, one of the parties is unhappy, and they explain to me why they think I'm an idiot. Honestly, they explain why they think I'm wrong. And they basically say, you know, you got this wrong. And so you have to deal with people always criticizing your work, because there's always somebody unhappy with the decision that you issue. And also, when you are a judge, you have to be autonomous, you have to be self-motivated, so you have to control your own schedule. There's nobody else telling you when to do it and how to get it done. So you really have to watch it yourself.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of advice would you give someone who wanted to go into the legal field? Maybe one of your students or something.
Well, I think first off, I think a legal education is one of the best educations you can get. Going to law school teaches you how to think analytically and critically in ways that a lot of other educations don't teach you. And so I think it's an incredibly valuable education. Also, you have a lot of opportunities to do a wide variety of things if you're a lawyer. You can become a judge, you can represent parties in litigation, you can go to work for a company and just do transactional work, you can do wills, you can do divorces and family law. I mean, you could do a lot of different things with it, and so it gives you a lot of freedom. And a lot of people with law degrees don't even practice in law. They'll go to work for companies and do business type jobs.
So what motivates you to continue working in law?
Well, I love the job that I do. I love being able to make decisions and do what I think is right in a given situation and come out with an answer that I think is the right answer. And so that's really beneficial. It's really nice. I like that. I like problem solving. And so my cases are typically about problem solving. I have the law and I have the facts and I have to fit them together and decide what I think is the right outcome. And so every case I have is kind of like a problem, and I have to figure it out. And so I enjoy that. And every case is different. I work in many different areas of law, and the types of cases I hear are very different. And so the variety, I learn about a lot of different things and become familiar with a lot of different things because of the different types of cases I hear.
Well, thank you very much for meeting with me. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.